Portugal and Spain, King George commands and we obey, over the hills and far away.
Hello there, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome back to the RedCoats Podcast. Today, we skipped over last week mainly because I personally was tired, and the other two hosts that we had on the week before were also unavailable. Not that we'd want them back regardless, due to an incident with eating paper, several stifled Hitler salutes, amongst other things. But hello, I hope all of you are doing very well. Today, our main point of focus will be on the Kavanaugh trials, which, as we spoke about last week, and the other two hosts were very disinterested with. Effectively, the Supreme Court Justice of the United States, and the Supreme Court as a whole, are the highest rulers in the land, effectively above the president in some cases, and especially if there were to be an impeachment trial. But basically, you had this guy called Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh has basically been a White House secretary and federal judge for ages and ages and ages. He was a White House secretary in the Bush era, and Donald Trump had proposed that Brett Kavanaugh should be the next Supreme Court Justice, because the system that they have is ultimately you're on there for as long as you possibly can. So you're put in there about age 50 and you rule for about 30, 40 years until either you die or you're physically or mentally unable to carry yourself as a Supreme Court Justice anymore. And one of the Democratic Supreme Court Justices had dropped down, which meant that the Republicans would then have a majority. And obviously a lot of liberals were very like, oh no, not tyranny, which it definitely wasn't anything like that, but a lot of them felt as though it was. A lot of them really missed the point. It's supposed to be democratic, and because there's I think there's 7 judges, 4 on one side, 3 on the other, in most cases. It just seems as though it just seems as though you're always going to have a majority or a minority every single time, and everyone's just going to be screeching regardless. But the Democrats would lose their majority in favor of a Republican majority, and then shit hits the fan, and you have a bunch of people without jobs screeching on the streets, including Amy Schumer and Emily Ratajkowski. Well, I mean, they have jobs, but I mean, Amy Schumer's content and comedy actually all revolves around the fact that she can say vagina all the time. Just makes a bunch of vagina jokes, and they're immensely unfunny, and she's an immensely just vulgar human being. Emily Ratajkowski, I don't know, she's a model or something like that. She hung around with Kim Kardashian for a while, and both of them effectively, whilst at one of those Kavanaugh screeching ceremonies, some security guards or police officers basically came up to them, and basically it's a fairly hollow threat, said, "Do you want to be arrested?" And then Amy Schumer was like, "Yes, I would like to be arrested," and so was Emily Ratajkowski. And like they were given like token handcuffs and shit, and tried to make some massive thing about it. But then it all goes to shit in this day of modern technology and devices, when people actually record the incident and catch these retards out on their lying. Especially Emily Ratajkowski, who took to Twitter and said, "At a protest today, I was arrested for protesting peacefully," or something to that regard. But what actually happened is of course the stuff that I've been telling you before. They were basically in a massive group of people in the Senate, I believe, just screeching their bloody heads off. When you say hello to yourself, I see. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but they were doing all this stuff, and they got arrested, and I'm really not surprised that that's the case, because they were being a bit, well, not very nice in that case. They were like they don't understand how politics works. They don't understand a lot of this stuff, and especially after the FBI probe, everyone was screeching their bloody heads off, but then you actually have the actual Democrats, which some of them are, fairly alright people. A lot of them are very civilized, and they just go, well, I mean, we have to allow, democratic justice to go forward, and we have to allow this nomination to go forward, because otherwise your party loses all of the legitimacy that it's had for never. But in their minds, they have got legitimacy and at least a civilized side to them. But of course, you obviously have the normal people screeching their heads off. And then Kavanaugh was obviously voted in after a supposedly according or based on the FBI probe, which is not currently open to the public right now, although Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the Democratic Party, is trying to get a subpoena or something to that extent that you would use in a political sense to release all the information about Brett Kavanaugh and the FBI probe to the public, therefore destroying the man more than they already have with his false rape allegation. Hello there. Heard of the Gingerite? Clout9. Hello there, how are you going? But yeah, Nancy Pelosi, not a very nice person. Same with Maxine Waters. They advocate for people going up to Republicans in their, either their place of work or when they're, going out for a meal or filling up their car, some bollocks like that. Just go up and harass them. I mean, there's an entire thing with Maxine Waters where she's literally just gone up to the to a crowd of people and basically gone, if you see them in a restaurant, if you see them in a parking station, if you see them at a gas station, if you see them at their home, if you see them at their office, harass the hell out of them, guys. And it's all just so tiresome. Because FBI is hot. What the fuck is that on the board behind you? That board behind me. Oh, well, this is a chair. It has my Coke on it. So yeah, the reason why I'm happy to go down so much like that is because I haven't got my contact lenses and I look really odd on with glasses. So so Kavanaugh was sworn in, and as soon as the FBI probe came out, the Democrats threw Dr. Christine Blasey Ford under the bus, effectively. We haven't heard anything about her at all, because it was mainly just a political, a political hit on Kavanaugh, just to make sure as much as possible that he can't be put in. And of course, the Senate, oh dear, amazing thing happened. One Democrat switched sides over to the Republican side of basically all the Republicans wanted Kavanaugh and the majority of the Democrats didn't want him in. But one of the Democrats just switched sides, just got him in anyway, which I find hilarious. No, I know I look like a nerd with them on. They're very, very thick lenses. There was also an incident earlier on in the week where I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. It was in Toronto, where there was a bunch of pro-abortionist people on the sidewalk. Real SJW male feminist allied tribes. But basically, they were doing all this stuff, and this woman, sort of goes up to them and, tries to have a fairly civilized conversation with them. She's obviously anti-abortion, which a lot of you should be, but for the single fact that she came up to them and, was asking questions about it and basically put her viewpoint across, and then this complete knob jockey of a man, piercings, bloody satanic emblem hanging from his neck, all that bollocks, decides to kick her right round the head, and rather frivolously, and trying to affirm that he was trying to kick her phone. But I mean, even if he tried to kick her phone, it would still be assault and vandalism to that regard. What else have I got on here? There's also an incident for those of you who follow Count Dankula, also known as Marcus Pearson. No, Marcus Pearson's fucking Notch, isn't it? Oh, I can't remember. Well, Count Dankula, anyway, basically had a rivalry with this Graham Linehan, who was a writer for Black Books, the IT crowd. a lot of these other British comedy. Oh, and Father Ted. A lot of these other British comedies that are most well renowned for, just being amazing comedies, and IT Crowd and Father Ted especially are just bloody hilarious. But when Dankula had made the joke about with this dog trying to use the trigger word of gas the Jews as as a trigger word to get his dog to do put his paw up, which reminisced a Nazi salute in that context. Basically, this guy didn't like that. He was like, "Oh, it's offensive, even though he did Father Ted and literally made his character out to be literally Hitler." Basically, there was an incident where he was consistently transphobic to this to this thing on the internet, and this thing decided to report him to the police, and now he's in a whole bunch of trouble under the same statute and law under which Dankula was being fined. And after Dankula was fined, Linehan was pretty much like, "Haha, you deserved it. That's you perpetuating a Nazi ideologies and racism." But I mean, even though it's under the same law, it's not under the same, guys and the reasoning behind it. But still, it's not looking good on Linehan, because it's especially transphobic. A lot of the comments, it was like literally die, or so you can imagine something to that extent. But yeah, he really does trans people, and he really doesn't like Count Dankula. He actually went out of his way to try and get this, his crowdsourcing thing, his GoFundMe. He tried to get his GoFundMe shut down for racist. I don't know the word for it, but he tried to get it shut down, which is typical of people who can't actually win an argument with words and decides to go for the throat. Didn't get shut down, raised almost $200,000 in legal funds so that he wouldn't have to bother with paying the £600 fine. £600 fine. Because it's completely pointless. It shouldn't have happened, and it's a complete bollocks thing to have pushed on someone. And yet, I wonder what's going to happen with Graham Linehan, because it's the exact same law that Dankula is being pressed under, and he liked the fact that law was going through. He does this stuff like internet goodie points. So I mean, it's just as virtue signally as you can possibly get with a person, which is, oh shit, I'm lagging a lot, which is, fairly bad when it comes to that sort of stuff. Let's come back up. I'm gonna put the bit rate a bit low. I'll put it to 1400 so that we don't get so much skipping. Because I mean, visuals they don't need to be this good. But yeah, there's incredible how they can't see the hypocrisy and the irony of these things that they're doing, because when you try and restrict free speech, that is the very point where things start to dramatically and emphatically go down the fucking drain. There's a quote that there's a line from Star Trek I saw a couple of days ago on Twitter, which basically, yeah, no, sorry about that, Matt, but effectively it stated that as soon as you start giving up the freedom to think and the freedom to speech, that's when all of the freedoms that you have previously had and generations before you have had for hundreds and hundreds of years start to get threatened and shut down, because this is what happened with Nazi Germany. This is what happened with communism. You can't get it to work. You have to allow people to think freely without the fear of retribution. You have to allow people to say whatever the hell they want, as long as it doesn't, advocate death. But even then you can, actually, I would say complete freedom of speech. advocating death of people, ultimately, in the long run, I don't believe to be actually a bad idea. Like, you can advocate for someone's death, but you're not going to fucking do it, are you, the majority of the time? Individualism. Oh, God, Chuck Wendig. What a fucking moron. Chuck Wendig, if you didn't know, is a writer for Star Wars, and I think Ian Miles Chong, or something like that. If you don't know him already, I'd recommend that you do follow him on Twitter. But basically, Chuck Wendig he went absolutely batshit shit crazy, and what makes it even better, it was a proper liberal like meltdown. It was like, fuck you, fuck all you guys, fuck you, man. If you got a thinking license, yeah, it's one of those. But Chuck Wendig, it is, even in his profile picture on Twitter, it is the proper soy face. It's the ginger beard, the agape mouth, the just completely fucked hairstyle. Bollocks. But yeah, it's even worse than mine. It's proper soy boy stuff. Hey guys, do you remember when Will Wheaton deactivated his Twitter account and everyone cared? Yeah, me neither. He did it, but all he's done is just lost to 2 million followers or some shit like that. Yeah, but if there's anything else that you guys want to talk about at this very moment, I welcome it. Because I've been talking for 21 minutes straight right now. Or something to that extent. Yeah, about 17 minutes. DJ Callous Fucknecks. Oh, is that what he actually said? I need to check now. Oh dear. What a absolute... You can just laugh at so much of this shit that they actually genuinely believe. Oh dear. Let's have a look. Chuck Wendig. I wonder if he deleted his tweet, but I mean, if not, I can, 60 tweets about Chuck Wendig in the last hour. Christ. Oh, I just read this tweet. Chuck Wendig wants you to vote Democrat. Ryan Johnson wants you to vote Democrat. Kathleen Kennedy wants you to vote Democrat. People fucking up your movies, TV shows, childhoods, and comics all vote Democrat. Send them a Death Star-sized message in the midterms. Well, I mean, oh yeah, right, okay. This is the tweet that he said. Winter is coming, you callous fucknecks, you prolapsed assholes, you grotesque monsters, you racists, rapists, and wretched abusers, you vengeful, petty horrors. They can eat shit. All of them. Eat a boot covered in shit. Fuck Trump. He's the ugly fake gold mask they put on this thing. Fuck all the GOP. Fuck that blubbering, bristling frat boy judge. Fuck McConnell. Fuck McConnell, Ryan, Grassley, Collins, every last one of them. Fuck them for how they've shaved victims and helped dismantle democracy. He's just basically a feminist ally, isn't he? Oh wow, yeah. Boy, the bots and sock puppets are out in force tonight. You're just making people not bother, messaging you with actually valid criticism of what you're actually saying. Because it's a horse shit. You can't just say that people who disagree with your opinions are bots. DJ check Discord. RedCoats Discord? Oh, just saying, I enjoyed the meme that you've put in chat, by the way. The TJGT, the awesome Deagle headshot disabled child. Incredible. Yeah, welcome, Dom. Welcome to the stream. Star Wars pop culture. Right, let's check my Discord, shall we? On my Discord account. Oh, Jarvis. Oh, Jarvis, why'd you have to do this again? Lol, right, numbers don't lie. I have 8,855 subscribers, and that nigga, DJ GT, 3,351 subs. Man. Damn, man. I just realised I just said the N-word. Bollocks. Okay. Okay, see you in a bit, Nick. Yeah, all of these things that they do, that they don't understand that by thinking that, they think to shut down the freedom of thoughts and the freedom of speech, and yet by doing that, they're just perpetuating this system that is eventually just going to close in on them and just take away all of their freedoms, their liberties. Oh shit! Okay, it's psychotic. Calm it with the spoilers. But it's phenomenal. It really is. They really don't think before they speak. Right. Is that not plugged in? What the fuck? Oh, bollocks. Hang on. Oh dear. That hurt. Fuck. Does that not work anymore? Oh, there we go. That's flashing. I don't like this. There we go. Yeah, they just don't understand it. They're gonna completely break down the society that when young and when in their their teens they actually enjoyed, pissing about in and thinking that it's edgy to go counterculture a lot of the time. But especially in this day and age, you can actually see where they're coming from. There's a lot of fuck shit in this world right now. You have paedophiles in Hollywood. You have he's part of the SJWs, and he's part of the people who perpetuated and allowed paedophiles and rapists in Hollywood to go forth and do this stuff. And he's part of that same crowd, and he's going on about rapists and paedophiles. I don't think they understand. When it stands from Undertale coming on, I heard he was a guest, and Peter Griffin from the Family Guy. I made myself. Oh dear. I like the comeback of Sans memes right now. They're pretty funny. I think there was a video put up by Cursed Videos. It was pretty much back in the barnyard, but in Hebrew, and then they're like stuck in a hole, and then it just pans over to like a dead pirate skeleton, and the Megalovania starts playing. It's brilliant. Oh. Damn. Well, this is what I have on my notes, and I've been able to stave off sterile and dead air for the last couple of almost half an hour now. Literally, it says Kavanaugh confirmed after FBI probe. Peeps crying. Pelosi being scummy. Bunch of horseshit. Glinner. So I mean, if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, please do put it in chat. I am hopeful that I understand and know about the subjects that you guys are going to be putting forth. If you guys didn't see the tweet, Django's, okay, whatever. If you didn't see the tweet, this podcast is only going to be about 45 minutes and an hour long, because I felt as though, especially the first one, to the end of it, I just started playing cards, and the other one, we pretty much ran out of a lot of the topics that we were going to be talking about, and the fact that someone halfway through the 2 hours decided to eat paper. Yeah, so, oh dear, it is what it is. DJGT, do you support the national service? What, drafting? Oh, hell yeah, I do. I swear if you didn't mean that. I just said I support drafting straight off. Yeah. Oh, national service. Yeah, I understand what you mean. What like Israel do when they get to a specific age, they have to go into national service and do like 2 years necessary military service. Yeah, I support that idea, because then you wouldn't get a bunch of bitchy, shitty, military-aged people fresh out of university thinking that they're completely enlightened with their liberal arts or gender studies degrees, suddenly thinking that they're complete shit and then making a bunch of civil unrest. Yes, I do support that. Whew. Even though I do not like how Israel is run. Yeah, it's a very good way to do things, honestly, because it teaches you discipline, it teaches you to respect authority, it teaches you to, well, I mean, it's the, like if you have if you have a job to go to, like if you have a job to go to, you're exempt. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say people who get to the age of, in this country, about 20, pressed into national service for 2 years, and then they can get a job. Nothing's exempt from it. So, and then you have a bunch of people who are fairly balanced on the same level of how they view society, because I mean I have an immense amount of respect for military, for the military in general, especially the British military, one of the highest spec of military in the world, and I feel as though if a bunch of people were to go through, or like the entirety of people through the ages of 20 to 22 were to go into that service, I think it could be very beneficial to our society as a whole, because you just think about how, especially the millennial generation, I personally aren't part of it, I think I'm Gen Z or something like that, the millennial generation seem to be very entitled, very oh guys, it's over for you fucking dinosaurs, it's all us now, it's all of this, we don't, you're disrespecting a future US Marine officer. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I think there's just a lot of millennials that they don't understand and respect authority, they don't respect each other, they don't respect their elders, they just don't respect anything, they use the world as their just toilet. I don't see. I don't know how to feel about the royal situation versus a head of state situation, because I would only allow it if it was in my interests to have a head of if the head of state was fitting with my political views. But what I would understand that if you were to have a national service, that would be good, because the majority of people would be right wing anyway, and you get that shit beat out of you in PT. But I think royally, it's sort of like flipping a coin and sort of seeing if there's a good one or a bad one. So I mean, you can have amazing ones, but then you can have really shit ones, and that happens quite a lot. So I mean, I think just for a more solid basis, you would have to have a head of state, even though that head of state may eventually be Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah. An elected royal. Oh dear, that doesn't make sense at all. You're literally just a head of state with a different frills around the edges. Sorry, you're an elected head. Well, an elected head of state is what Padme was, but she was effectively a president, but with different frills on it. If you see what I mean, because she effectively had the same jobs as a president would have. It's just the way that it was set up and the way that she was presented she looked as though she was a queen. She had the title of queen, but she wasn't a queen, because for a queen you have to have a specific line of succession. You don't get fucking elected in. When you're a queen, you don't get put into senator, do you? It's like, what the fuck? I mean, to some extent, especially in the Republic of Star Wars, senators, especially, were on their world would sometimes be more powerful than the actual heads of state there, and there was some systems, especially in the Old Republic, where the senators were the heads of states, which I think would make more sense because you would actually be able to understand everything that would be going on. For Trump, yes, I think they should. But if you were to be talking generally, I think you would have to be at a certain age to become president, if that were the case. Because you don't want some fucking 29-year-old president who's in there for fucking 70 years at the end of the day. Because, I mean, it would turn into a point that everything that they were talking about would eventually stagnate, and the only thing that would be pushing them forward would be international correspondence and issues that were external to the place, dependent on how well or how poorly they dealt with it. With a country such as the UK, it's easier to say, harder to do with how to fix the problems with the country. Some of which come down to how our conservative leadership is set up. Imperial presidency. He's orange, tangerine. Oh, orange man bad. A lot of people's criticisms of President Trump come from their buzzwords like racist or homophobe or transphobic or tax dodger or paedophile or rapist or, things that mean stuff, but out of context and without evidence mean fuck all, and without actual legitimate things backing them up, especially in this Kavanaugh trials, it doesn't mean anything. So I mean, it is what it is. Do you think Franklin Roosevelt was justified in ordering the internment of Japanese? I don't, and I think that's a lot. That's a massive thing that a lot of historians and a lot of people don't actually understand what happened, because George Takei, whatever, who played Sulu on the original series of Star Trek, was advocating for Trump is Hitler. Trump is putting people in internment camps at the Mexican border. He's so bad, and yet he's never spoken about how the fact that he was in an internment camp during World War II because of his race. The difference is that Trump didn't put them in because of their race. They put them in because they're crossing the border illegally. You break the law, you get put to prison. You guys, the Japanese at the time who were living in the US, they'd not broken any laws. The only thing that was wrong with the eyes of FDR was the singular fact that they were Japanese. And they could be spies, but I mean, it's still just an overwhelming and just I think, in the long run, when you think about the fact of espionage, yes, it was a good idea, but I mean, in the fact that how he did it and how he actually set out and looking for it, he just went, right, you guys, you're here now, put a fence around there. And I don't agree with it. And Takei seems to be a bit lenient on that fact. See, that's very interesting. I feel as though the Treaty of Versailles was just so immensely fucked in the way that it was done. The Treaty of Versailles it took 70 years to bloody pay off, and they were still expecting it to get paid off after the Wall Street crash. They were expecting, oh look, the Germans, we're amazing. We're definitely not going to print all of our fucking money and destroy our economy due to hyperinflation. And then expected, and there's also the fact that they basically said, they went to the corner of the room, basically went, right, yeah, guys, we're going to fuck up Germany, alright, yeah, harshest terms possible, yeah, okay, right, and then they tell them the rules, and the terms of their surrender, and this treaty, and basically say, you sign this, or you get fucked even more. So, I mean, it was Operation Paperclip. Ah, bollocks. I can't remember what Paperclip was again. Can you, actually, I'll look it up. Let's have a look. What is Operation Paperclip? Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's taking a bunch of old Nazi scientists back from Germany to go work on the rockets program that eventually led to America winning the space race. Yeah, I remember. Sorry. Yeah. It was just immensely fucked. It was basically, hey, we're gonna torture you for over 50 years. Yeah, accepted these terms, thanks. And honestly, I'm not surprised that Hitler jumped up after that, honestly. Like, if it wouldn't have been Hitler, it would have been someone else with that sense of nationalist views. It wouldn't have been Adolf Hitler, it would have been, well, any of his board members would have initially done it, especially the one that devised the Nazis literally did the moon landing, and then everyone was like, hey, look, America, we're amazing. Except those people from about 30, 40 years ago were the actual ones that helped do it. And the moon landing is seen to be one of the most, supposed to be one of the most influential things in the last 100 years to have properly happened in terms of technological advancement. And they put it down to the Americans and not the Germans. Oh, Nazi Zombies moon map is partially oh yeah, it is. Yikes. Yeah, Operation Paperclip? It was intelligent, because, I mean, a lot of these scientists didn't necessarily, do anything bad, if you think about it. A lot of them did design weapons of war, but that's nothing. Like, they didn't use it, they didn't test it on anybody, well, a lot of them didn't anyway, but the Americans did the exact same. They made the single most destructive weapon in the world at the time, and, I mean, as everyone says, it is the victors that write the history books. So, I mean, it was a really good idea to, take some of the most intelligent and smart minds of the world back over to America to actually assist them in technologically advancing the society. Hello there, Azatru. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Operation Paper Munch. Okay, yeah, I just got that. That took me a second. Yeah, I think. Where's the piece of paper that he ate? It's right over there. Hang on. Oh dear. Yikers. It's right there. Yeah. What a nerd. Why was he asking to speak to me? Oh shit, yeah. I didn't do Friday Battlefront. I couldn't be asked. And I uninstalled Battlefront 1 because it's a massive game and I don't have enough space for it. And one of my hard drives has failed, so I need to get a new one actually. I have a feeling Jarvis doesn't like me. Not gonna lie. Oh really? Oh, did he get his computer that was like $2,500? Like, they was so immensely overpriced and completely unnecessary. Because, right, I'm trying to think how expensive my computer is. Case, 20, 30 quid. Graphics card, at this rate, is 150. Motherboard was 150. RAM, 150. Processor was... Excuse me. Processor was about 400, 500. And then... power, what do you call it? Power supply was 200. And that's in pounds. So it's like nothing. At all. And then Jarvis was like, hey man, look, most expensive computer, let's get that. Must be the best one, right? Like this video to instantly commit die. Oh dear, it was... Oh dear, it's like $2,500 that he just pissed... I don't understand where he gets the money from as well. As it is true. Yeah, thanks for being here though, that's true. Oh, I got like... Class dismissed. Yeah, pretty much. Move up in center radio. What is this? Friday night highlight streams. Yeah, I might have a look at that later after I finish streaming, which is like, I think I might go to the hour length, honestly. Oh god, that is going to be funny to look at later on. Oh dear, the amount of times that he put that in chat though. Oh my god, it's just why? What is the point? Oh dear, Jarvis Davis. He's a very nice gentleman, in my personal opinion. He's just a bit how to say this without being immensely horrible. I fucking love. I love it when my dad thinks it's hilarious to come say, "Hey guys, let's go laugh at the new Doctor Who." So yeah, sorry about that. He's getting a dictionary for the right word. Yeah, I'm not very good with my small amount of vocabulary that I have. What were we talking about? Yeah, Jarvis Davis. How to describe him without sounding immensely horrible? He's a very low IQ individual. To quote Donald Trump. She's a very low IQ individual and needs a IQ test immediately. Talking about Maxine Waters there. Yeah, David Tennant is the best Doctor. Changed my mind. He definitely is. I'm not going to watch Jodie Whittaker's one live because I don't want to contribute to the national viewership of it. So yeah, Matt Smith is your fave. I think Matt Smith is either my second or third favourite. And then closely followed by Eccleston. Check prices now, man. GeForce GTX. Oh my god, man, look at that. Those are some good graphics cards. He's been sending that to me for months. Like, hey man, what are you thinking about this computer, man? And he's got like the Amazon listing for it. He's just posted the entire thing. It's like, do you not understand this stuff? Just, if you don't understand the actual format of it, 2080, man. Oh dear. Like, not good. He's nah. Yeah, I've already got an R9 390. The main thing that's actually bottlenecking me with streaming and shit is cooling, mainly. No, secondarily, and primarily my internet. Because I've got the highest tier Ryzen. Because after I was donated 1,000 quid, like, what was that? Year, maybe 2 years ago now. I just made my upgrades as soon as possible. It really isn't like you need to make sure that, like, yeah, I've built probably 8-9 different computers. Some of them were like 3-4 generations ago. They were XP computers. And then I had a IT technician job, where I basically had to fix some school computers. And basically, with the most basic terms, you can have a motherboard with integrated graphics, 2 gigabytes of RAM, power supply, disk port, and some hard drives, and that's pretty much it. It was piss easy. But with a proper gamer rig for proper gamers, realistically, it's better to have an SSD, solid state drive. It's one of the quickest ones that you can get. Generally, I've got a SanDisk version. You get a hard drive, like a 2 terabyte one, where it just stores fucking everything in it, and you boot the SSD with the Windows on it. You then have, like, mine's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, I think. Torbis has got an absolute fucking mad computer, though. It's like, what, 1080 or 1070, some shit like that? Tell me what y'all think down in the comments below. Let it go, DMB Nation respond. DMB. Yeah, imagine trying to play the victim in the story where there's an airplane going overhead. In a story where you literally just harass, like, parents of, like, young kids. I mean, just because they're YouTubers, I mean. Wait, what? Hang on. I'm a Star George and I like a quick pork. Haha, that's hilarious, Shrego. Hang on. Wait, what? I thought you were joking. There's actually a 2080. Fucking hell, you're a madman. You can send me your old GPU now. Thanks, Torbis. Thanks for your generous donation. Yeah, I know. It's immense. It is really expensive. Christ, I didn't realise that. Shit. I'm not keeping up with the times. God. Yeah, thanks for those of you who are joining me right now there. I see the majority of you who are currently in chat now have been in all 3 streams. I really do sincerely apologise for the last one, and I hope the quality of this stream has definitely made up for the car crash that this one was. It's highly overpriced, even though I bought it. It's basically a Titan. Yikes. Well, I mean, I can ask your old one then, can't I? Yeah, old one. So I can actually play Battlefield 2 at like 4K. I mean, I've got 2 monitors, but none of them are 4K. I can stretch it to 4K over 2 monitors, and put just FOV to just max and see how badly it shits itself. I really want to go get a 4K monitor though and just put it right fucking here. I think Iliot from Battlefront Updates, I think he's got like 6 or 7 monitors. I think he's got like, it's like a massive wall of monitors like on top of each other, and like specifically, it's amazing. their streams are better with dabs than Fortnite dances. Oh dear, no, but you remember last time where he's just holding the fucking phone up and just trying to playing the bloody Fortnite default dance shit. Oh dear. You already got a deal. Torbis... Okay, whatever. It's like that scene from Civil War. I'm sorry, Tony, but he's my friend. So was I. Oh dear. Who were those anyway? They were my IRL mates I used to go to school with. Well, mates. Literally just the people I get drunk with, where they're actually semi-bearable. Not when streaming though. Not when doing anything actually mildly related to any sort of media platform. They're completely insufferable. It was funny, but I mean, it just gets to the point where it gets fucking tedious. It's just fucking eating paper on stream though. It's like, hey guys, I'm quirky, let's fucking eat paper. Hey guys, let's do a Nazi salute. Let's get... That'll be funny, guys. Haha. What the hell, bro? Yeah. I'm happy that they're not coming back, honestly. I mean, if you guys want them back, that's... I mean, they're not coming back, but I mean, if you want them back, that's tough, mate. Really? Who's that, Torbis? That sounds like a what do you call it? What is it? Six-tuber? Steven thing, sort of thing to do? Because he, you know, cries for attention all the fucking time. It's like, hey, Ezra, that's cool. Sub to my channel. Follow me. Thanks. Or he'll keep calling Battlefront 2 shit, even though he plays it all the time. Okay. I don't think you'll be able to put the link in chat, but if you like put it on your Twitter or something like that, I'll get the RedCoat account and my main account to go retweet it. Oh dear. Have you guys enjoyed yourselves though whilst you've been here? Like, I really do hope you have, because I mean, what do you think about Battlefront updates? He's a good lad. I think he's one of the most trustable sources that there is. Definitely. There is not a more trustable source in the Battlefront community than him. Westy stretches his videos out, so, and I don't really watch his videos. The last time I watched it was right when Battlefield 1 was coming out. Yeah, I can't really watch his videos because I'm not really interested in Battlefield. I mean, it's pretty funny. When he's not doing his videos, there's some pretty fucking hilarious videos of him just acting like a complete smack. But yeah. Let's have a look. Why is it downloading? Are you sending me viruses, Torbis? Why does he want Ben Walk to dab? Oh, he's got... How many weeks has he been doing this for? Oh dear. See, if he were to post himself dabbing, ultimately people would get pissed off. It's like, why are you putting out the video for dabbing instead of working on Grievous when they don't actually realise that ultimately he's not the one who works on it. He's literally just the community manager. It's laughable. Oh, hello. Sent it on your... Yeah, cheers. Do you not think they're a little slaves to the game? You can't see the flaws. No, I feel that with Elliot's, his content... he does critique it all the time. He literally will always say when he's pissed off or disappointed with stuff, but he will still power through. And he does see the flaws. He will always say this. He will always say, "Oh, I'm very disappointed with this feature," or "Oh my God, we're not getting Grievous till end of month. What the fuck, guys?" And it just echoes the majority of the community's stuff, whilst also actually delivering the news and not clickbaiting everybody every single time, like Star Wars HQ does, Battlefront or Quinn Knight does, and just a load of these different fucking channels. It would just piss me off so fucking much. Like, it's one of the reasons why I decided that I didn't want to actually continue to compete with these people in terms of views. I have just decided now that I don't care if I get views or not. I sit in the camp that I feel as though my videos are fairly entertaining. They're informational. They're opinionated, but they're not clickbait. They are never clickbait, and they never will be. DJ, have you seen the new Venom movie? I have not. I have heard mixed reviews about it. Every critic has said that it's shit. Everybody else that I've heard say anything about it has said that it's pretty nice. Yeah, well, you can only get to a certain point with that, like, because even when I was uploading and I thought that, I was putting hours and hours and hours into these sort of fucking videos, they just got no fucking views at all, and that's what the algorithm does. Who's Mike? I don't know who that is. What I was gonna say, yeah, but you just put hours and hours and hours and stuff, and it doesn't matter if you like. It doesn't matter on the quality of the video. It's always if you're uploading a certain amount of videos per week or per month. You're constantly putting out content that is of at least an average quality. That it just doesn't work with. It doesn't work with actual quality on YouTube, and that's why you're just seeing so many. I mean, it's immensely fucking easy to do these vlog shits, and that's why they're so pumped up in the algorithm. So yeah. Any other questions? Oh no. Is this Grievous doing the Fortnite dance to all this? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, that's amazing. Year of GTA people like 0.4 Live and Sanando. And Lispy Jimmy. Don't forget Lispy Jimmy. Bunch of tits. Oh, please, Torbus. Stop sending me porn. Yo, Grievous, what's up, homie? Yeah, gang. Up on Geonosis, man. Is that Roblox? Where are you getting these pictures from? Oh, dude, literally, last night, I literally had a fucking dream about how good bloody Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to look in Battlefront 2 last night. Literally, it was, like, I was playing as him, and it was like the death animation. It was like, oh my god. You sort of think, like, you have a really odd thing with your mind where you think that you're ahead or behind the time that you would normally have thought that you're in. So you'd think that you're like months before, which technically we are when it comes to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And like even in the dream I was trying to fucking record it. It's like, I gotta get this out, I gotta get and all this sort of stuff. And it was sort of manic, but I mean I seriously can't wait until Obi-Wan Kenobi comes to Battlefront 2. It's the same with Anakin, it's the same with Dooku, and especially with Grievous, because Grievous is gonna look fucking pale, man. Anyway, now we have come to the last minute, the hour of the stream. I really do hope that all of you who are watching have enjoyed enjoyed the discussions and the topics that we've been talking about. If you've enjoyed it, I do recommend that next Sunday, hopefully, if we are streaming again next Sunday, excuse me, that you do bring more of your people to the stream so that they can enjoy it as much as you guys have. Anyway, thank you guys very, 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 very much for watching. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next stream. If you haven't already, I do recommend that you do also subscribe to my main channel, DJGT, and my other channel, Eldarin or Eldarin. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and may the force be with you always. Well, that's my main fucking outro. I don't know what the one on this one is. Anyways, I mean, yeah, I agree with that, Matt. Yeah, I do. Anyway, see you lads.